So, hey everybody. What's been going on? I have been missing in action. I have not wanted to associate with people in this world. I've been going through a spiritual awakening, and I realized that a couple of weeks ago, and it's made me want to just like retreat from the world. Other than my family, I feel comfortable with my hubby and my kids, and so other than that, I just don't want to be on social media. I don't want to look at messages. Something about just like, something's going on. Okay, so to start, before we moved to Kissimmee, me and the hubby and the girls and everything, things always fell in line for us in such a synchronistic, like a magical way. Like things were just always perfect. It was just always like, and so the way I looked at that, or we looked at that, was just we believe in the law of attraction. We're doing the right things. We're putting out good energy. We're doing good things, and that's why good things continue to happen to us, and that's why we're so blessed, and that's how we looked at it. That's all I summed it up to be. All of these strange synchronicities. On top of that, I would always see numbers. Same number all the time. 22. My birthday is 10/22/77. So I would see 22 and 77 a lot. But I would see 10/22 a lot. I would look at the time and it'd be 10/22. I just so happened to look at the clock at night and it's 10/22. Like something just draw my eyes over there and I see 22 at 12/22, 2/22. I always seen 22s. And I always felt like 22 was a number that had something to do with me. It was like my lucky number or something, because there's so many 22s in my life. I was, not only born on the 22nd of October, but my first daughter, I had her at the age of 22. At my dad's house, his address over in Opelika by Westview was 13115 on 22nd Court. And then behind us was 22nd Avenue. And the address 13115, when you add that up in numerology, is 11. 11 is my life path number, if anyone knows anything about numerology. But I remember moving and staying with my brother for some time, my big brother. His address was 731 on 17th Street, downtown Miami, like close by Jackson. And 731, you add that up in numerology, that's 11. Me and my sister moved to an apartment downtown. 1104 was the number, and we stayed on the 11th floor. The last place where I just lived before leaving Miami, where me and my hubby and the kids stayed, 236 Northeast 111th Street. And then the 236, when you add that up in numerology, that's 11. So these numbers, I've realized recently, have been just around my whole life. It's just been everywhere. And it's kind of like shocking. And a lot of people will look at stuff like this as a coincidence, but it's not a coincidence. I know it's not. So after moving here, still see numbers a lot. One night, it blew my mind because we were going to bed, and I was telling my hubby, well, like, we got to transfer some money from the saving to the checking because we were buying some things after moving and, had to pay for some stuff. So I transferred probably like $300 and something into the checking account, and the amount it turned out to be in there was $2,222.22. So that was just like what the, and I know, like I said, people think that's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence to me. It was almost like something was just like screaming out to me to pay attention to something. So I start looking up 22, trying to figure out what the number means and what the meaning is behind it. Oh, you're on your right path, and all this stuff. And still not sure exactly what the reason is that I keep seeing these 22s and 10/22. I started seeing more numbers. I started seeing 77 a whole lot. One day I'll see 33s all day. One day I'll see 55s all day long. And I mean, like, in crazy ways. I was standing behind somebody in Walmart one time. It was a guy with a scratch off, and I wasn't trying to look at it, but the way he was holding it was just like right in the angle where I could see it easily. So he's scratching it off, and he wins $10, and his winning number is 22. And when I see stuff like that, I'm just looking up like if I tell you some of the ways that I've seen these numbers, it's such a crazy way, and it's just like, it's insane. So on 7/22, that was last month, on July 22nd, I get up that morning And because I always see these numbers, I'm thinking about the date, and I'm like, it'll be funny if something interesting happened today. Something good going to happen today, because it's 7 and 22. Okay. So I get my little one. The kids were out for summer school, but the little one, she was still in daycare. So I go, I get ready and get ready for work, get her ready. I go and put her in the back seat and buckle her in. Then I'm walking around to get in my side of the car, and something tells me to look up. And I look up, and there's a big white owl sitting on the pole in front of the house. Big, beautiful white owl at 8:30 in the morning. I'm just like, oh my God, look at it. Tried to take the phone and take a picture of it. It flew off, so obviously it was only for me to see. And then I leave, and I'm driving, and I'm like, I wonder if that's a sign. What does that mean? So I'm looking up that. What does it mean when you see an owl? I see wisdom, intuition, signs of big changes to come. And then I remember an owl came to our house in Miami before we moved, like every night for like a week. And not before that, my sister always talking about she loved owls. She want an owl. And so I called her, teasing her like, it's an owl at our house. We first found the feather outside. And we picked it up like, well, this is a pretty feather. What does it belong to? Hadn't seen an owl yet. And my hubby, Calvin, he took it, he put it in his hat, and we still have the feather. But then the next day, I think of maybe a day or so later, I'm standing outside and I hear something, and I'm looking. It's nighttime out there. And it swooped down. I guess it's eating lizards or something. And it sit on our light switch, above the door. And I called my daughter to peek out the window and look. I'm like, I think it's an owl on the light up there. And when she came and opened the window, it flew off. But I was just like, wow, it's an owl. And I called my sister, messing around with her. Didn't think nothing of it. But then now it's like, oh my goodness, it was before we moved. So maybe that was a sign of a change. I don't know. Interesting. That's all you can think about. Interesting. Later that week, I start seeing 99 all the time. 99, 99, 99. Not in Miami, but here when I saw the big owl at the house. I saw 99, 99 on tags everywhere. I just kept seeing 99 all day in just crazy ways. Back to back, cars right behind each other with 99 on the plate. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I looked up the number. It was saying something about following your path and getting on your purpose and finish what you started. And I actually started getting real aggravated and pissed off. Because I'm like, what in the world, finish what you start? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I think I'm following my path. I think I should be a personal trainer since I like working out. So this is what I like doing. This is what I'm supposed to do. So I'm following my path. What do you mean? I'm just confused about it. And I went through just being pissed. I even had to ask myself, why are you so angry about it? Like, I guess just being annoyed at seeing these numbers and not knowing what to do. And the next day I felt a feeling of bliss, just like, I feel so good. And another day I felt like emotional, like crying. And another day I felt sad. It was just like all of these emotions, I don't even know what's going on. I remember looking at something online that said something about manifesting. I say, well, maybe I'm about to manifest my purpose and my desires and my dreams. And that's the reason why all of these things are happening. Maybe that's what it is. Then I ran across something that said signs of a spiritual awakening. So I happened to just glance at that, and every single thing that I've been feeling was there. Everything. All of the emotional roller coaster, the animal visiting, the numbers, like all of this stuff was just, and then it got to a point where now I'm having a lot of physical symptoms that I'm not even going to share on this video because I don't think a lot of people are ready for it. And I'm going to share that in another video. I'll talk about that. And that's basically for the people who know that there's something bigger out there. I know there's a lot of people, family, friends, people who probably will be like, she crazy. And that's okay. That's all right. It's okay. That's just going to be, that's the way it's going to go, you know, but I have to speak my truth and be me regardless of what people think. If you think I'm crazy and what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you and you don't understand that there's something bigger than just this physical life that you live in, then move, delete, go past the video, go back to your regular scheduled programming, because there's a lot of people that know. And a lot of times we have these strange symptoms and things that happen, and we write it off as certain ailments, or we write it off as coincidences, and a lot of time that's not what it is. And I've gotten to the point where I really had to like step back from the world, because I have some physical things that I have witnessed, one starting when I was 19, that I now know what it was, and I didn't know back then. I thought somebody put a curse on me or something. And I'm going to share a video on that. I'm going to have that on YouTube, and I'm going to give out all of this physical stuff that I've been going through and how I know what's actually happened to me. It's not a coincidence. It's not a dream. It's not that I'm crazy. I am going through, specifically, I seen something called a Kundalini awakening. Don't know what Kundalini is, never heard of it, but what I experienced at 19 and all the physical feelings that I've been going through and the symptoms are that of a Kundalini awakening. And Calvin was joking because it sound like some kind of pasta, Kundalini shrimp or something. It just sounds funny. So we don't know what it is, but now I have read up on so many things, and it is it's amazing.